Hello and welcome to this week's lecture on perfect competition. I'm Mike Wenz and I'll be guiding you through the slides. Perfect competition is a form of industrial organization, and when economists think about industrial organization, what they're interested in is understanding the way that firms compete with each other in the market. How is the industry organized, and how do firms behave according to their place and type of industry? Industries can be thought of as occupying a spectrum. On one end is monopoly, where you have a market that is dominated by a single seller. The single seller serves the entire market. At the other end of the spectrum, we have perfect competition. And perfect competition is such that every firm is so small as to not be able to influence the market price at all, that we have a large number of competitors. The perfectly competitive firms are one of a great many firms or potential firms that are selling in their particular market. Monopolists are the only seller in their market, and in between perfect competition and monopoly are all kinds of industrial organizational structures like we see in the real world. We're going to begin by talking about perfectly competitive firms today, and we'll talk about monopoly a little bit later in the course. Buyers and sellers in a perfectly competitive market, there are many of them, selling essentially identical products, and firms are free to enter and exit the market, and information about prices is equally available to buyers and sellers. That is, nobody has an information advantage. There are no secrets in perfectly competitive markets. These four assumptions about what a firm in a perfectly competitive market looks like leads to the conclusion that firms in these markets are price takers. And essentially what this means is that if they try to raise their price even a little bit above the market price, the going rate in the market, they will lose all of their competitors who can just walk across the street to somebody else who's essentially selling the exact same product. And if they can get it cheaper, then consumers will choose that. There's no real reason to lower your price. You're such a small fish in the big pond that you can sell as much or as little of your output as you want at the going rate, so there's no value in lowering your price. So in a perfectly competitive market, many buyers and sellers selling essentially the same product with free entry and exit and free information or equally available information about prices for all leads to firms taking the market price as given and making their decisions about how much to produce based on that.